Right, we're ready to go.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I will call this meeting to order of the DeKalb County Commissioners. The date is April 24th, 2023. Morning, Dottie. Mic's on, everybody.
Good morning. Yes, I have a special guest this morning, Jack Smith from Information Systems. And we would like to talk about some staffing in information systems. So, Jack, why don't you take it away?
Why, thank you, Dottie.
You're so welcome. Yes. This is the Jack and Dottie Show.
Yeah. So what we've got going on is we've talked in the past about retirements, staffing concerns and that, and we're right on the cusp of Jim Baxter retiring June 2nd. And what we've done over the past 2.5, 3 years or so, we've had an intern. His name's Logan Brewer. He's been working with us out at Community Corrections as well as other facilities in that, learning the tasks and that involved. Logan has progressed to a point where he's been doing an awesome job for the county. And we are, out of a courtesy to the commissioners and to the county, we're going to be moving Logan from his part-time intern position into a full-time position to replace Jim Baxter, doing his daily tasks. We made an offer to Logan. He has accepted. He would tentatively start. It will either be the 15th of May or the following week, the 22nd. In a full-time position, he'll be shadowing Jim for the last 2 weeks that Jim is around, and then we'll continue on with that position and that. So we're quite excited about that. I said he's done an awesome job for us. Forward to having him on board for quite some time, we hope. Some other things that have been going on in the office as we moved Carolyn's position through the wage, with the help of Dottie and the wage committee?
Job classification subcommittee.
To a position called software support analyst. It better describes her position as opposed to a help desk administrator. Her tasks are better defined because basically what she does, she'll take a package off the shelf and customize it for what the county needs. And in doing so, that presents a position that we would like to consider creating a new position called a help desk technician. It would be an entry level where a person would come in and basically field the calls coming in. We're looking at sort of redefining how the office works. So within that position, they would take the call, try to troubleshoot it, get it resolved that way, and if not, then assign it to a person, send it up the chain, assign it to the person that would be more capable of getting it corrected. So we're looking at that position for the future. Right now, with Logan transferring over into a full-time position, that does leave us a part-time position open. Dottie and I are talking with some of the universities to get that position filled with an intern, trying to bring some people in, and we've got at least a few candidates now that we'll be talking to over the summer.
Jack, could you move your mic a little to your right? Yeah, you're cutting out when you turn your head towards us.
You mean like what we talked about the other day? Yeah. So anyway, we look forward to getting that position filled, at least with an intern. There's some discussion as to if we really want to keep the part-time position in place or just convert that completely over to a full-time. We are battling we are battling with what we can pay for those positions. And honestly, from what I've seen lately, I'm not sure that I'm not sure we can pull it off with a part-time position. But that it is what it is, and we'll focus on that as we move on down the road. So, but basically, that's what I wanted to address the commissioners with, was with the change in Logan and Jim in their positions. So, we're pretty excited.
Sounds like a win.
Well, I've talked to several of the local universities, their computer systems, their technology departments. There are, it's April. Things are, winding down for their school year, but there are some individuals who are fairly local and, students who would be looking for, an internship, a part-time position. Jack has been wonderful about working with Logan with his schedule. Logan started way back when he was in high school. Yeah. So he already had a lot of computer experience and classes while he was in high school, and then we knew he was going to Indiana Tech. So, of course, I contacted Indiana Tech to see if they might have somebody just as qualified as Logan. So we'll see how that works out. Whether or not we have the person a little bit closer to full-time during the summer, and then we work with them during the school year with their class schedule and have them come in when it's appropriate. So a few things still up in the air, but you got to try to get the recruiting going.
Okay. Any comments, Todd or Mike?
Have we had any conversation with any of the high schools? Just
No,
to see?
we haven't talked to any of the high schools. Yeah, not yet. So we thought we would start with colleges first.
Okay.
And of course, if any employees' children might, have the kind of qualifications that we would be looking for, I'm sure that they would be looked at very strongly. There's that continuity of, the family kind of thing. So we could, we'd be happy to look at that too.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Great. So on the same sort of line where it comes to recruiting and hiring, I heard from Angela Brown out at Sunny Meadows that one of her employees put in his notice, and May 4th is his last day. So I hope you will agree that Sunny Meadows is already sort of understaffed, and that we should try to fill that position.
Yeah.
So I have already sent her the posting that I used the last time we were looking for an employee in that position. So I'm having her review it, and then we'll get started on some recruiting.
Okay.
Have that. The assessor and the auditor's positions have both closed. The assessor had approximately 100 responses just on Indeed. The auditor had over 50 just on Indeed. And so now the ball is in their courts. Not all of those people were qualified, shall we say, but they were inquiries. That's why I call them inquiries. So, like I said, the ball is in their court, and we'll see how they progress. Highway Department, they've only had 16 inquiries on Indeed since we posted this back in February. So I think Ben's not frustrated yet, but I'm sure he soon will be. And then the timing of trying to get somebody in with the qualifications. CDL, and one of the things that he and I have talked about is, you hire somebody who doesn't have one, and then we send them to CDL school. Ivy Tech is busy all the time with that technology. And then we would have that employee sign some sort of an agreement that our attorney would write up that states that they would work for us for X number of years or year or whatever. And if not, then they would have to pay back the.
Right.
So I checked with the city because the city had talked about doing that sort of thing for their own people. That hasn't really taken off. So they're kind of just, I thought maybe, we partner with the city, but it doesn't sound like they've moved much on that. I know they've had some other things going on. So, if that came out, well, that might work out well for us. But, we may have to think outside of the box and think a little more creatively and, hire them and grow them the way we want them. So we'll see what happens with that. Community corrections, we still have the officer position open and also the facilitator. The problems that they have had is, maybe not quite qualified with the applicants coming in or setting up interviews and people ghosting them. They don't show up for the interview. But they're not the only department that has had that happen. It's just bizarre. But once again, people have so many choices, and there's perhaps even that it's not to say that everybody ghosts, because some people actually do call to say, sorry, but I've already been offered a position, and you got to love those people. But maybe there's a lack of civility or a lack of common courtesy.
Yeah, or effort.
Yeah. That hey, blow them off. Health department, the inspector starts today. Yay! And they're thrilled about that. We are still looking for a nurse. Yes. So I refreshed the posting again. Of course, I try to refresh any of these postings while they're out there, especially if they've been out there for a while. And so Cheryl did get a couple good ones last week. At least on paper, they looked good. So we'll see how she takes those, because what I've suggested is she do some phone screening interviews. She has some definite ideas what she wants, and you have the job description, and so kind of let her go ahead and do that. So we'll see once again. The Sheriff's Department, they have a merit board meeting, so hopefully the two that they had in the pipeline will be approved, and Sheriff tells me he's hoping May would be when they would start, so that would be awesome. That's two of them. They did have a posting for security, and of course we have the continued confinement officer. Security closed, and I'm sure that they are doing what they need to do in their department for that. Confinement, we continue to get one or two inquiries, especially on Indeed, for the positions, and then they are directed to contact the officer over at the jail for the applications. So anyway, that's kind of what we have going on with recruiting and hiring. When it comes to our work comp claims, we had 4 cases closed last month, 2 from the sheriff, 1 from the highway, 1 from the courthouse here. Currently, we have 8 open claims. 6 are from the sheriff's office, 2 are from community corrections. One of those from the sheriff's office is in subrogation. One of the ones from Change, it's actually Change Academy, is also in subrogation. So they're Oh, no, there's another, there's another one from the sheriff's office in subrogation. So evidently, our insurance company is still haggling with the other party's insurance company, and they're probably, trying to duke it out to see, try to get the other party to pay for their issue. Okay. Health insurance plan update. I had an update last Monday. They are currently marketing both fully insured options. They're keeping our options open, and marketing self-funded options. And we're kind of spreading out, making sure that we've got all of our bases covered. They are marketing to 5 third-party administrators that they feel would do a good job for us. They're also marketing the stop loss with multiple contract options and then some specific options, as well as safeguards such as rate caps and laser protections. We want to cap those high-priced claims that we get so that the county doesn't get hit, but it would go to to our reinsurance then. And then for the dental and the vision plans, they're quoting plans that are comparable to what we currently have, which aren't terribly robust, but then they're also asking for some enhanced plan options. So working on that, and they seemed like they were optimistic still. So I will keep you guys up to date as that goes along. Any questions that you would have for me to send back to them? Anything? And that was the update last Monday. So
Monday.
As I get more information, I'll of course pass it on.
Sure.
Todd,
Mike, anything?
Anything? Nope. Good here. Okay. All righty. I don't know, Mike, if you've had any more conversations with anyone about the clinic?
I was just going to mention that.
See, I segued right into that for you.
So I've got information from Lutheran on that, a contract and like a sample invoice and all of the dollars and cents and things that go along with that. I had them take a couple things out of the contract and sent back a revised copy, so I'll forward that to, to everybody to take a look at that and have Andrew take a look at that. But that can be put in effect within 30 days.
Wow. That could,
So, we could be part of the clinic regardless of whatever else happens. We can be
With the
part of
health
that
plan.
clinic process within 30 days.
Mm-hmm. And that would be with Lutheran, you said?
Well, Lutheran owns a clinic.
They do, so we would just more or less a sublease or a...
Well, we would just...
partner.
We're just a partner with DeKalb Central in the clinic.
Yeah.
We just pay an administrative fee, like $10 a month for employees.
Per employee.
Not dependents or any, only for the employees, but of course dependents and everybody can use the clinic. And then split the cost of the
Meds?
no,
Oh, okay.
nurses.
Nurse, right,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Nurse
Staffing,
practitioners.
yeah. Yeah,
That's what I
staffing,
was trying
yeah.
to say.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. DeKalb Central owns the facility and all the equipment. That's already been paid for, or it's already part of the mix. So it's really a pretty good deal for us.
Is that clinic on the DeKalb Central campus?
Yeah,
It is
it's
on the-
just across the back road
Okay.
from, they bought a house and converted it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, I will send all that out this afternoon to everyone, take a look, we can do whatever we want to do with it.
Right,
But,
right.
we could conceivably, if we like it and decide to go ahead with it, we could conceivably have it put together by June 1st.
Okay, okay. An option to look at.
Yeah.
You know, we got to look at all of them
Yeah.
at some point.
That would
Thanks,
be,
Mike.
it would be a very nice component with being self-insured because, you know, the easy peasy sorts of illnesses or appointments that, you know, an employee would need or a dependent would need could be handled out at the clinic far cheaper than going to the doctor, going to the, you know, occupational health, you know, or not occupational health, but like a Ready-Med kind of thing. And now that we will have 2 of those sorts of urgent care centers in Auburn, you know, there'll be a competition. So that would be very nice for us to have, not to mention the fact that if the hours are right, the productivity, you have somebody out of your office. Sorry, I've got to take PTO for an afternoon to go sit in the doctor's office for 3 hours until the doctor sees you. You know, you know, I could see the productivity really increasing here too. So, yeah, great. That's very encouraging. Glad to hear that. The only other thing I have right now is the cybersecurity training policy. It is currently in the employee handbook as of the beginning of the month for all of our new hires, and any of our current employees are, you know, getting the policy, and they are acknowledging by signing the list. Good news is we have everybody from all 3 of the courts. I am still waiting for probation officers and the officers out at community corrections. Probation is creating a policy for their manual to require adherence to the cybersecurity policy required by the county. And Michael needed to get consensus from all 3 of the judges on that. So I would anticipate getting acknowledgments from those individuals since everybody in the courts have returned their acknowledgments, and since the courts feel that their probation and the officers out at community corrections are state employees. Still waiting for probably, one more department, and you know, it's coming together really well. And I know Jack and the Information Systems Department is very grateful to have that in place. Now, it's a matter of, you know, keeping us safe, keeping our data safe. And even though the employees are the front lines, sometimes things happen. So they're, you know, they have their work cut out for them too. So this Thursday, I have a phone conversation with Parkview regarding our wellness program, the wellness event that we had in March. And that will probably be the aggregate report regarding all of the people who participated. And, you know, it'll be very confidential, and it will only be an aggregate report. There won't be any, you know, specifics. So that will be good information for us to have to pass along to for being self-insured also. So that is all that I have right now on my list, except the last one, which is I had sent a document to once again affirm me as the ADA coordinator for the county government. I had a call last week asking about, they had an issue with a private employer here in the county, and they thought that I would take care of it because I'm HR for DeKalb County. I think I need a raise, people, because if I'm HR for the county, well, yeah. So we had to explain that it was DeKalb County government, and I tried to coach the person what they needed to do. So anyway, but so the ADA coordinator, that is our the Americans with Disabilities Act, and that confirms that we do not discriminate against individuals who have disabilities, and that we will work with employees and potential employees on reasonable accommodations.
Yeah. We need a motion on that.
I will make the motion for approval.
I will second.
Second.
We have 2 seconds. That's good.
All right, so who's doing it?
I'll do it.
You do it.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, so roll call. Todd,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
See, I didn't even offer anybody else the opportunity if they wanted to take over as ADA coordinator, you know, just FYI. So anyway, honestly, that is the last thing I have on my list.
Anything for Dottie, Mike or Todd? You are free to go.
Okay, all righty. Well, see you whenever.
Enjoy the day.
Thank you.
See you, Dottie.
Bye, Todd.
Okay. Payroll pre-approved on April 17th. What do we need on that, Susan?
Yes, we just need a motion that you are formally, officially approving the payroll that Mike had came in to approve so we could process.
I will move to approve payroll.
I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and second to approve payroll for April 17th. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Todd,
Aye. Oh, I'm
wait,
sorry.
Todd, Mike,
Yes.
and Bill.
Aye. Did we have minutes to approve? I didn't see any.
You should have. Did they not get put in the, they didn't? In the meeting thing?
Did you?
We have some good ones. We can do those later
I
on.
didn't get any travel. And we were asking Bill, is travel?
No, minutes.
No, the minutes, I'll send them.
Oh, yeah. The minutes came separately, I read them.
Oh, did you?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I didn't see him.
uh-uh.
No.
I'll send
I
them.
think I got it.
I don't think so. I think we forgot to put them in the meeting packet. I'll share them right now, and then you guys can look at them. We can do it later.
Okay. We'll
Oh,
put that
I'm
on,
looking from the week before. Never mind. Or 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah. Yeah, we'll put that on hold. Okay. Claims. Everybody get a
Okay,
chance?
so we had a little bit, small batch of special claims that you approved tentatively last week, and then we have the big batch.
Yeah. Everybody get a chance to go through the big batch and the claims?
Yes.
Motion to approve?
So move.
Second?
Second.
My motion is second. Roll call?
Todd,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Okay.
And now our favorite, travel.
There was a boatload.
That probation and public defender travel, those are reimbursed. Is that right?
Public defender's reimbursed at 40%, I know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
prosecutor.
These are different than the big RISE conference that they were going to.
Yeah.
So I don't know that they're reimbursed besides the 40% when public defender does their monthly submissions.
Are those, what do I want to say? Are those do they have to go through council for their travel as far as their budgets? Is that included in their budgets? Is that something that goes through council,
Every department has travel in their budgets.
the budget? I was thinking,
They didn't used to, but for the last few years, they have separated it out and they had it. We all have budget, or we all budgeted travel within our.
I knew the courthouse departments did. I wasn't sure about probation and public
Yes,
defender.
all
All of them
departments,
go through.
yeah.
Okay. Motion to approve travel.
So moved.
Second.
And motion and second. Roll call.
Todd,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Reluctantly.
Thanks.
That sounds like there's a message in there. There is.
I know. We hear you loud and clear.
Okay. We are on the 9 o'clock. Yes, we are.
Okay, so
Commission approve of council ordinance 2023-OCC-3.
yeah, so at the last council meeting, the council all voted to pass the ordinance authorizing the actual issuance of the bonds for the highway. So now I guess you guys get to approve that they authorize those bonds and sign the document.
We authorized to
So
authorize.
you're authorizing that they said yes,
Okay.
from what I get.
All
But
right.
it's not actually your ordinance, like there's no number for you, it's the council's ordinance.
Yes, yes.
Talk about convoluted.
Yeah. Thank goodness I have somebody helping me walk through these steps, or I would have been a little lost on this one.
But since we do want to fund the highway department building, I'll move to approve council ordinance 2023-OCC-3.
Okay,
Second.
A motion and a second on the floor. Roll call.
Todd,
E.
Mike,
Yes.
Bill,
Absolutely, yes.
thank you. Okay, so I'm just gonna pass this one sheet of this large document around.
For John Henry.
Yep.
I'd do a John Hancock instead. It's the big signature.
Oh, Todd.
Since you're not here, Todd, you're out of luck. You don't get to do anything.
Speaking of that, I had just messaged him. I had sent a message around to my fellow auditors wanting to know how they handled if a member was remote. And the consensus and one of their attorneys was that as secretary, I am able to sign your names since he's voting yes and note that he is remote so that we're not waiting. You know, if he's gone, I mean, he's gone a week, but if we're not waiting until he gets back to get all the signatures.
Okay.
So that's a nice little perk.
Is that something we need to officially endorse or have an ordinance?
I mean, it makes sense to me that you could do something like that. And if you're not just signing his name, you're saying that you're doing it with him being remote. Probably
We
doesn't
already
hurt to have a
have, we already
policy on it.
have the remote
You already have remote.
meeting policy.
Okay.
So this would, that's up to you guys what you want to do, but this would coordinate with the minutes that he made the motions to agree.
Yeah, I think it would make sense to have a vote on that, just to have, if they want to go in that direction, just to have it recorded somewhere.
Yeah, I do too. What do you think, Mike and Todd, about that?
I'm good with it. I don't mind forging my name.
What's your name?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
And it'll be on the record showing that, you know, Todd or anybody else was
Was on Zoom.
by video or, you know,
Right.
remote.
Okay,
So it's not
That's fine.
secret.
somebody give me a motion then. We'll make it official.
I'll move that we approve Susan to sign if a member's appearing remotely.
Let's change that from Susan to auditor,
Auditor.
Yeah,
moving forward in different
yeah.
auditors.
Auditor or, and I guess, does that include if she has a deputy or assistant handling the meeting?
Auditor or designee,
Yes, I like that.
Okay,
so.
Second.
a motion and a second, roll call.
Todd,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
That's with the idea that she would sign the name and then also mark that it's being done remotely.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay. You want those minutes, Mike? Miscellaneous topics. We got a little time here. Got anything, Todd?
The Narcan box that Cheryl wanted, I'm good with it. I tried to get a hold of her. We played phone tag, but she seems to think that'd be a good idea. I had reservations about it maybe enabling people, but that's probably overthinking on my part. So I would like to get an approval for her to put that Narcan box out.
Okay, comments, Mike?
I'll certainly go along with that.
Okay, and I also, motion?
I'd make a motion that we allow the health department to obtain the Narcan box and put it on their door there.
Second,
A motion and a second, roll call.
Todd,
Yes.
Mike,
yes.
Bill.
Yes. Anything else? Todd? Or Mike?
From here.
Anything, Mike?
Let's see, I had a clinic on my list. No, that's it.
Andrew?
On my list, one of the things that I had was, and I think I might have forwarded you this email with an update on the Buswell case, which was a case against the sheriff's office.
Yeah.
There's apparently been no demand from the plaintiff yet, and there's inconsistency in the story, so hopefully the case is, going okay at this time, but they're just in the, initial processes of the litigation. So nothing too solid to report there. I also had seen that, but we don't have to discuss it necessarily, it just didn't, that there's not much going on the Amish buggy license plate front, I guess. Nobody's applied for any. I think I'd seen that somewhere.
Are we sold?
Had anybody applied for a buggy?
Yeah.
Oh, we have
they
lots now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'd seen something that said there weren't any, and so I didn't know if we wanted to have a discussion
was-
of how to enforce it, so.
That was back when we
You
had
know
the
what? You might have been on vacation.
Yes,
Okay.
you were.
Oh, I see.
We
Okay.
went past the original deadline, and
Yes,
there
and
was
there
only
wasn't
one
any.
applicant.
Okay.
And he walked out mad, and so we gave him an additional deadline
Okay.
and some
And some people
revisions.
actually did start to
Yeah.
comply with that.
So we
know-
have 101
Wow,
buggies,
okay.
but no trailers.
Okay,
Nobody's registered trailers.
okay.
How many have we received, Susan, roughly? How many registrations, do you know?
101 for the buggies.
Okay,
but 0 for the trailers.
gotcha. 101, wow, 101's good though.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I'm surprised.
That's a lot.
Yeah. I
That's
didn't-
all since
Well,
March 30th.
Awesome, good job.
Yeah,
And then there was a gentleman that gave us information on the communicator. I guess it's some kind of paper, something that goes out in the Amish community.
yeah.
And from Harlan. And so Jody called for me and got information and like their schedule and whatnot so that towards fall, then we can advertise a reminder that they need to come and renew their plates. And then again after the first of the year, so that they at least would have 2 reminders that way. Other than that, I'm not quite sure how else we can get it out, but they seem to feel that that was the best way.
okay.
But I think that communicator gives them a way to communicate, because, we have email, and not all of them have necessarily the phones and
Right.
that stuff. My dad used to subscribe to it, so, okay.
Anything else, Andrew?
Mr. Zaire did
I think that's who,
volunteer to
Yeah,
have it at his house and let everybody come there if we want. I don't know what the logistics look like exactly to do that, but rather than have everybody come to the
You go to
courthouse
his-
piecemeal, we could just do it at his house and do it.
they also asked if I would be willing to allow them to mail in their renewal and have a self-addressed stamped envelope so I can mail back the little sticky date thing. And we're gonna put, I don't mind that at all. I don't really care for, I don't want to mail the actual plate. If
Right.
it's something new, I feel they need to come
Yeah.
to begin the process. But after that, it's fine if they mail it and then we can return it. So we'll put that in the information as well. But I mean, I'm really to work with them. I just don't want to mail
the plates.
the plates.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that will help.
Yeah, I think so too. I
That's
mean, I
good
have no
help.
problem with that. There
Yeah.
shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, try to make it convenient for them as much as we can within
Yeah.
reason. Sure. Okay, anything
Obviously, they
else?
followed through with,
They did.
Right. Anything else, Andrew? Susan?
No.
Susan?
I don't think so. I don't think I had anything.
I just have a couple things. We had the repair done on the county farm drainage. Kelly Castman did that. I don't know if you got that invoice or not.
I did. We had a call on it because it didn't say, like, it said tile work and stuff, but I was like, I have no clue what this is for. So we called and we got it figured out.
You got
So,
to figure out,
yes, we
okay,
did get
I
it.
should have, I was meant
That's
to get
okay.
back with you on that.
No, that's okay.
Let
We
you know
got
that
it.
was coming. What was the total on that invoice? Do you remember?
It was a little over 2,000. I don't know if I have the exact amount right here.
And that was not a county regulated drain, that was a private tile. And that probably should be paid out of County Home Sunny Meadows ARPA. Everybody agree?
I'll check. I think that's what I did.
That's what you did? Okay. I think that's what we've been doing with that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. The only other thing I have, I just got a minute or two here, is I should be meeting with Frank Nestor on the county home showers this afternoon.
Okay.
Get that started, and he's going to partner with Pranger Enterprise and Jamil Flooring to get those showers redone and hopefully get that going pretty quick. So that's all I had.
You said Frank Nestor.
Yes.
Okay.
He's going to be the contractor doing the job in coordination with Pranger Enterprise. Okay, we are just right up to that. Oh, we are 9:15.
We are. We're there.
Michelle, come on up, grab a seat for the podium, whichever you want. A seat's fine. Make sure that mic is on, and And up to you. That's good.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
So I'm here today to get the last form I need to submit the Community Corrections Grant for 2024. It is due this Friday. So every year, you all sign a letter of support, basically saying that you agree with the recommendations of the advisory board for what goes in the grant, and that you support the applications that not only I am going to turn in for the community corrections, but also probation will turn in for that extra, that probation officer that focuses on mental health, high-risk caseload. So I do have a copy of that letter here. The budget this year, we are going to ask for some additional funding from the Department of Corrections. I don't know that we will get it because as the state budget stands right now, they're giving about $175,000 more for all community corrections and programs that dip out of that same fund. So just because I was curious, I divided that by the number of organizations that receive funding from there, and it would be about $675 a piece if they just spread it evenly among us, which isn't, going to go real far. So we are going to ask for additional funding, but also with the realization that we need to be practical and understand that might not happen. So just if you're interested, some of the highlights for the budget for 2024, we do have some increase in expenses. I'm pretty sure you've all heard that the cost of drug screening for both probation and community corrections is going to be increasing for 2024. It's going to be about $2 a screen, which for us, the number of screens that we do is fairly significant. So for community corrections, that increases our drug screening budget by about $5,000. Also, because we've been able to get the numbers of participants in community corrections increased, we're having to increase our equipment leasing. So that's the amounts that we're paying to rent the actual GPS anklets and things like that. Higher number of people on, higher number of days. So we're going to increasing that by about $19,000. We do have the 3-year software maintenance for the HVAC system that'll be due in 2024, and that's about almost $6,000. So that'll be included. We did get the $1,100 in there for the fire inspections, which are actually scheduled with Corson's for later this week. So we're moving right along with that. We will be doing it's $21,500 additional to cover the utilities at the building. We've had a shortfall both of the last 2 years by the end of the year, having to come and ask for the council to start covering those utility payments. So we wanted to try to make sure we covered those in 2024. And by our best estimates, which, it is what it is, it's an estimate, we're going to have to raise it by over $21,000 in order to cover the entire year for that. So if there's any more talk about solar panels, that'd be fantastic for our budget. And the only other things we're asking for is we are going to ask for some additional funding for training for staff out there. It's really important for us to stay up to date on all evidence-based practices, all the new info that's out there on how to best serve the clients and keep everybody safe, healthy, things like that. Our audit for residential actually requires 40 hours of training a year for all employees, full-time employees, which is a fairly high number, honestly. So we're just working on figuring out how to get all of that done, looking for obviously free webinar type options that people can do while they're already on shift and some things like that. But for some of our staff, it does require some out-of-town training, spending the night, overnight places and things like that. So, so that is all the things that we had to cover. And then our big focus after that in our budget for 2024 was to make sure that we're getting all of the community corrections staff up to the salary ordinance, which they have not been in the past. And because of our strange timing with our calendar year, our grant year versus the county's budget year, we're always going to be about a year behind. So our 2024 budget focused on getting all of our employees up to the salary ordinance for 2023. That's was really important to us because we obviously want them to feel like, that they are receiving the same kind of compensation as everybody else in the county. And also in the budget, we figured in at least a 10% increase for the medical insurance, not knowing what that's going to be. We just kind of estimated that.
Any questions for Michelle? Comments? Mike? Todd?
Here.
I just have one comment. I have had some conversations with Auburn Mayor about the peak demand, trying to get some relief on that. He is working on that. Hopefully, we'll get something to happen there and reduce that electric bill. I know
that'd be
it's running
fantastic.
pretty steep. I don't know. We'll just see. Probably after the election, he'll get on that. And
Okay.
give us some info. Okay?
If you need anything from me, let me know.
What relief?
On a peak demand, electric charge out to community corrections.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put too much
Yeah.
optimism into that because that's an I&M calculation.
Right, right. We'll see. He thought he might have an idea or two.
Yeah.
Would help with that, but we'll see.
Okay. Did you have a copy of the letter to sign, or?
I do, yes.
Yeah, Mike's got
I
it.
think Mike has it. So I just need a motion for you guys all to sign that you're accepting the support for her grant submission.
I'll move that we all sign the letter of support for community corrections grant submission.
Motion and a second. Roll call.
Tad,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes?
Bill.
Yes. And you can sign for Todd.
Yep.
Just like that.
That's right, we just set that up, so.
Okay.
Okay, so then after you and Mike sign it, can you please sign one? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Okay.
Right here's Tracy.
Want to go back to minutes?
Oh, yeah, if you guys are ready.
I think so. What do you think, guys? Approved minutes?
I'd make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Motion and second to approve minutes. Roll call.
Tad,
Yes.
Mike,
Yep.
Bill.
Yes. Okay, what else do we have? Anything miscellaneous? I got 7 minutes to burn. Nothing.
The one thing that I was thinking of, there are probably 5 tax deed cases that are going on now. There was a particular, I guess there was somebody that bought maybe 4 or 5 pieces of property through tax sale. There's a particular time period they have to go through with notices and so forth, and then they have to file within like 3 months of the end of the redemption period. And they failed to do that by maybe 5 or 6 months, I don't know. When they filed their request for the tax deed, so it's late, so they're not allowed to do that. But they didn't put in their petition that it was late, and no notice ever came out to the county auditor, so she didn't know about it. The judge grants the order because he's not keyed into what's going on there. What I'm assuming is what happens is it comes across, if they know of something illegal, they won't sign it, but if they don't realize it's late,
Sure.
they may not have the information to deal with that.
Correct.
And then about 5 orders came out ordering her to do tax deeds where it was filed too late. So then I filed motions to intervene in all of those cases, motions to correct error, saying, Judge, this was a mistake. And And the judge then issued me a order to file like a legal brief on the issue to see whether the auditor could even intervene and complain about it, because the statute is not exactly clear on that. I prepared that brief, filed it. We have these hearings coming up, what, in June maybe? May or June, I think. And so we'll see what the judge has to say on it. If the auditor cannot intervene, then there's no one there to complain or ever object when these things are filed late. And the petitioners could just file them late whenever they wanted to. There'd be no practical way to have a bunch of illegal tax deeds done.
I've had
So-
this happen before, but generally I get notice that somebody has filed a petition, and when I get that, then if I know that the time frame is wrong, then I have filed objection or something. I had filed something before, even when Jan was here, we've done it a couple times, but we didn't have notice of anything that it was filed, so I didn't know until they wanted me to direct the deed. And I realize the goal is to get these properties back on tax roll, but at the same time, we have statute with deadlines that need to be met, and we have another one where it was also filed late, and there was a outside person not even involved in the tax sale that was going to purchase it from the current owner, and they had waited until the time frame was over, verified with us that a petition wasn't filed, and then brought their deed in. So now that's another issue because it's transferred to somebody else because the people didn't do what they were supposed to do within their deadline. So it gets kind of confusing, but,
We can't just pick and choose which are the rules we want to follow.
right.
No, yeah. And in that case that she's talking about, the plaintiffs actually filed, in that case, they filed it on time, but it was rejected by the clerk, is my understanding. And the problem with that is, if you don't realize that your filing was rejected by the clerk, you think you've complied with the statute and filed it. But in the e-filing system, somehow, you maybe get a rejection notice. If you don't see that coming in, you think you've met the deadline. So then the deadline's missed. New buyer comes in and buys it from the original owner, the taxpayer. Then they refile the documents saying, hey, we missed the deadline, but we want to connect it back up to the original filing. And now that's up for the judge to make a decision sometime here in the next month or two as well, I think.
Yeah. I think that one's actually going hearing and everything.
Okay.
So at least we don't have to be the judge on that one, right? Who wins, so.
Okay. Anything else?
I had attached in all your stuff, which I can attach it separately, the current travel policy to see if
Right.
we want to go over that. And I think it'd be worth it to go over it and maybe everybody go over it and put your ideas down, and then we can bring it back together. Probably within the next week or so, I will, well, sooner than later, I'll be sending out your current budgets and with the place of putting what you want for 2024. And then we'll schedule a time to discuss those during meeting and whatnot so that we can get those
Okay.
pinned up and ready to go to be turned in, so.
I guess on that travel policy, there was a question about liability. And Andrew, probably that's in your ballpark. Can you give us, at some point, we actually need to approve, the commissioners need to approve travel in order to,
I asked my auditor group again, we ask questions to each other all the time. And the majority of them, the commissioners do not, it's in the travel policy stating, but as long as the departments have the money, like we do, then they don't have to see the travel policy to approve that. Some have put a clause in their policy that if the travel was over a certain amount of dollars, then they would want to see it to approve it. Others have it where if you've went through your travel money and you need more travel money, then to come ask and see if you can still do the travel. But the majority of them told me that their commissioners do not look at them and approve them on a weekly basis. They just approve the claims, like, when they're reimbursing or whatnot.
Did you catch that?
Yeah.
So as I'm looking at it, it seems to me like I haven't heard any of the commissioners deny any requests for travel so far in 4 months. And
Let me give you a back history real quick, though,
Okay.
because you don't know this part. Prior, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, it used to be that all of the travel money was budgeted in the commissioner's budget, 100% for every department.
Oh,
So then, as we started updating and getting things clearer, we wanted to be able to see, both council and commissioners wanted to be able to see how much each department was costing.
make them more responsible for
Because,
their own.
well, and the other
Yeah.
reason is if it's all in commissioners, if I pull a report, then I physically have to go through and look to see, okay, this one was auditor, this one was assessor, this one was probation, to figure out how much
Right.
was to what department. Where this way, we have it under the departments, I can easily grab their location number that's attached to them, and we can know. So that has changed since the
That's-
beginning.
Let's pick this up again later. Let's get Tracy in here, and we need some more discussion on this for sure. That's interesting, that so
Yeah.
many do not actually approve. Hi, Tracy.
Can you make sure that blue light in the middle is on, please?
Okay,
There you
Better?
go.
Thank you.
okay. You know, I've never signed this. Am I supposed to sign this every time I come?
It's, you don't necessarily have to because you're on our agenda, so we know
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
here.
I was
that's
gonna say,
true.
never have.
It's more
I
for
never
like the
noticed it.
visitors.
Yeah.
Okay,
You're a little more than a visitor.
okay. Okay, so we're first quarter for DART. So our quarterly update, we're still consistent. We have 15 drivers. That's what we had last quarter. Kept all of them. They all seem to be very happy. I did want to give you a reminder. Our compliance review began on April 21st. And so what that entails is they put all the review documentations into a system for us to look up and go through and make sure that we're being compliant in every area. This is my first one that I've been doing. So I have no idea what I'm getting involved with yet. But it looks like pretty much everything pertaining to whether we're drug testing on time, whether we're being compliant in several different areas of our drivers and our fleet, maintenance of the fleet, and so forth. So we're just getting started on that. Happens every 4 years. Last one was in 2019. And we do require one commissioner to be present on the 26th. I still don't have a time. They haven't set the time for that, but as soon as we get a time, I will let you know. It's on a Wednesday. So we did put in a request to purchase 2 low-floor minivans for 2023, was in our last year's budget. We're still waiting on those. They said maybe June to August is probably when they expect delivery for that. And they are much needed, so I'm very glad we're getting them. So we will have 2 low-floor minivans then that we exchange out and dispose to sell. So when that happens and we get those, I'll be sending up the information to you to sign that we can go ahead and sell those. We're still waiting on that medium transit. Haven't heard yet if we're getting it from 2021. I'm guessing it's coming soon. They say, they keep telling me next month. So maybe we'll have a transit soon. We did do a request for 2024. We have to have our budget in by April 28th for the 2024 budget. We did request another low floor mini and another medium transit, just because of our transits are at the 150,000 mile mark. We can still drive them. We're still making sure that they're inspected, that everything passes. We just don't want to be stuck in this situation again where we order something and we get it 3 years later.
Yeah.
So we did put that in. The estimated project cost was $186,593. The federal match of that is $149,275. That's covered by the 5311 grant. And the DeKalb County Council of Aging would be responsible for the local match of those two vehicles is $37,318. So that would be our responsibility. So the next thing I put is how do we get those funds? So the one thing that I'm doing this year is I'm going to each of our funders and asking for an increase. A lot of our funders have given for years and years, and it's been the same amount. When it comes to townships, when it comes to counties, town boards. I've started meeting with all the town boards. I'm meeting with the mayor of Butler. I'm meeting with the town board in Waterloo and just saying, we really appreciate the, X amount that we've gotten the past 5 years with increases, with inflation, with everything going on. Would you consider this year giving a little more and what that would look like for them? So that's one thing that I'm going to be doing this year is just a lot of road work, a lot of hitting the pavement and going to our funders and letting them know the situation that we're in. Also, we have started grants, pushing more grants to try to get some help in our area. We have what we need to match, but we need to fundraise so that we're not fundraising to pay our bottom line. We want to make our match and then fundraise to get ahead. So I'm in a year-long fantastic school right now with the James Foundation that they're putting together with the IU school fundraising. And I'm learning tons and tons about that. So that's one way that I plan to help market and kind of keep our end of that match up. Also, Janice and I have been going into schools. We've been going into nursing homes. We've been going into the Serenity House. We've been going in and talking to them about DART and about, how this is a really great thing for DeKalb County and how they can utilize it. We want to make sure that they realize that it's for everybody. For some reason, people still think it's for seniors and disabled. So it's for us to kind of get out there and market and make sure that the word is out there that anyone can. And we've gotten quite a bit of response from that, so that's great. So the papers that I sent you are the normal. I've got my expense report, first quarter transportation invoices. It looks like we were right at $161,937.74. Our revenue this first quarter was $21,901.80. That revenue is up from $14,000 last quarter. So I was pretty excited about that. So we did increase with our revenue, and that is shown on the first quarter fares on the next page. The biggest increase is our local public transit. We had an increase and went up to $4,119 for the quarter. The biggest increase was our punch cards. We have really been pushing punch cards. People to buy a punch card, they get on the bus and we just punch it each time. So they buy it in bulk instead of buying per ride. Mm-hmm. We were at $11,379 in punch cards for the quarter, which is huge for us. So that's a really big increase on our fares, which is surprising because we're coming to the end of the school year and usually, the summer we start to slow down, and it's been kind of just going the opposite. Passenger trips were 4,790 trips in the first quarter, which is up. Last quarter we did 4,379, so we're up for about 400 rides in quarter four, and we were at 44 in the third quarter last year. So we've definitely increased our rides. And I think that has a lot to do with Janice and I talking to different manufacturers in different areas and trying to get that up there. And it looks like we're headed in the right direction. I think just the fare increase helped somewhat when we that's where the balancing trick comes in, because if you raise fares, which we did, then you get less in your funding because you're making more, so your funding is less. So it really kind of outbalances each other. But I feel like our rider fares have been up, and I think they're going to continue to go up. And we just started doing day trips for our senior groups. So that will make a huge change because we've started doing trips like down to the Civic Theater. A lot of seniors don't want to drive downtown Fort Wayne. They don't want to drive at night. So we've started taking bus trips of like 12 down, and we'll take 2 buses, and they pay for out-of-county round trip when they do that. We take the amount that it's going to cost to take those 2 buses, get them free tickets to the Civic, and then we take them down there and let them eat, let them kind of go downtown, and then bring them back to the center. So that's something that we've started. So that's a little way for us to increase rider fares. And, we have a couple other things in mind. So
Have you thought about doing that in the evenings and maybe even the weekends with the embassy?
yes, actually, Carly, that is in marketing now, has been working on doing a monthly.
Okay.
So whereas we could even do Brown County, we could do Shipshewana, we could do, a lot of different things like that to get our senior groups, which are the ones who really like to do that because they don't want to drive themselves.
I do, occasionally I do security work at the embassy, and there's quite a few buses that come with, even from like the nursing homes and stuff, but there's
Yes.
quite a few buses that come and drop off right there, and it's just safer for...
Well, the wonderful thing is I meet with those nursing homes once a month now. They all come to the Hymex Center and we sit down and we talk. And what can we do together? How can they support us? And, that was one thing that all of them wanted when we started talking to them was trips to go places. And they're willing to pay for those trips for us to take them there because that gets them out, that gets them social, and they can't drive themselves necessarily. So we have a couple of bus drivers that love to do those kind of things and are more than willing to take them to some tin cap games and things during the summer months. So I think that's really going to help our fares a lot as well.
That's really cool.
Absolutely, yeah. Great idea.
Thank you.
Really, really good. I just did a bus tour myself down to Myrtle Beach, and it was, it's...
They enjoy
This
it.
is a bigger scale, of course,
Yes.
but still, it's the same concept.
Yes.
And it says driving, and you get in the big cities,
Yeah.
even Fort Wayne anymore, seniors do not like to drive down. I don't like
Right.
to drive down
And
there
they don't
anymore.
like to drive at night. So with the embassy and stuff, they miss out. Like on the Festival of Trees at Christmas time, there's all kinds of things that we could really do with that as long as we have a driver. So I did turn in my budget and, not my budget, but all my paperwork for the 5311 going forward. And one thing that we are going to need to add is a third part-time dispatch for DART, because we went from having 3 routes to having 7 to 8 routes per day. We also got some local funding to add tablets to those 12 fleet that we have. We got that fully funded for us through the Community Foundation and a couple of other small groups that helped fund that. And we are going to be putting these tablets into each of the vehicles. It helps track, it helps make better routes, it helps with dispatch on an end. It just makes everything very streamlined. And it also allows us to take payment by credit card. As we know, cash right now, a lot of people don't carry it. And it makes me very uneasy, as I've told you before, to have cash on those buses. I don't want anybody to steal our little boxes. That's really the only thing that's in carrying those in there. So I've had a lot of drivers be asked for money at gas stations, and that made me really uncomfortable. So we've been working with a bank to add in those swipers onto those tablets. We have the tablets in-house. We're just waiting for the software to get put on it. So it's the same software that we use now that's on our computer, but now it'll be on each of those buses to help locate and track them. It will really increase safety. It'll increase mileage, hopefully. I don't know if there's anything we'll ever be able to do about gas, but it looks like we're going in the right direction with that. And just in case we have any competition in the area in the future, one thing that we want to be able to do is be cashless if we can be. So that is something that I've worked really hard on this past few months to get that installed. So hopefully that will be up and running by my next quarter when I come in to see you. So that's really all. If you have any questions for me, I just submitted the two invoices. We have the regular rural transit, and then we do have the CARES. We still had $38,475 in our CARES account that we could use, which is we don't have to pay any of that back. We're not responsible for any percentage of that through the government. And so we did ask to have that submitted as well. So it's just those two invoices for today.
So I just need, on this part, I just need a motion for Bill to sign these two invoices in blue.
In blue.
I will make that motion.
Second.
A motion and a second. Roll call.
Tad,
Yes.
Mike,
Yep.
Bill.
Yes.
Wonderful. And then the rest of the documents I sent.
Okay, so she also has a big packet, and this is everything that has to do with the 2024 DART grant submission. So there's multiple documents that Bill will need to sign, lucky Bill. So for these, I need a motion. So we've got a certification of use project equipment and facilities. We have a checklist for capital projects. We have a resolution 2023-R-8, which is authorizing the filing of the 2024 grant application for both operating and capital. There is a special section 5333B warranty, list of public transportation providers and labor unions, a local financial certification and assurances, the pass-through agreement for the grants so that we can accept the money and then send it out to her. And then there is certificates and assurances that have like 12 different categories on it. That include the certificates and assurances for every applicant, safety plans, tax liability, felony convictions, lobbying, private sector protections, transit asset management plan, stock, formula grants, urbanized and rural, capital investments for pilot program, grants for the buses, mobility programs for seniors and individuals, good repair grants, infrastructure, alcohol-controlled substances testing, rail safety training oversight, demand response service, interest financing costs, cybersecurity, tribal transit programs, and emergency relief programs. So
It's a lot.
I have this all typed up in a wonderful motion for you all. So that when you make a motion, you're approving Bill to sign every single one of these documents so that she can submit her 2024 grant.
The only thing that they changed this year from last year and the years before is, and I think you'll love it, is the checklist, because you always ask, where do we get our match for our local funds? And they actually made us draw those out this year. So there's an actual detailed list of where we get all of our individual match to match what we need on our end of it. So that is the only addition that they made from last year. The other ones are the same things that we get to sign year after year. So.
Okay.
I will make a motion that we authorize the president to sign all of the documents as just read by the auditor for the DART and Council on Aging grant application.
Good deal.
I will second.
Todd did. He just was quiet.
Oh,
There you are.
okay, roll call.
Todd,
Yes.
Mike,
Yep.
Bill.
Yes.
All right.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Tracy. Have a great day.
Very busy. Susan, do you have the original of the two invoices or do you? The original. Okay. Perfect.
Well, the one
Just the copy, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, these two.
Okay, in blue, all right. See what I have to say.
Okay.
Here to see how all of this gets together. This will be my second 11. So
I'm going to have Jody make me a copy of all this real quick, and then you can have the originals here. That's fine. If you want to actually go over there, yep, that would be great.
thank you. Have a good day.
You too, Tracy.
Thanks.
And then make sure she gets the originals. And I'll send her it out. Thank you.
Well, we're getting close to break and pledge. Got the pledge today. Todd,
Who did the pledge?
I did it last time, I think, Bill.
say what?
I think I did it last time, didn't I?
Yeah, I think so.
I
Yeah,
think you did.
Yeah.
yeah, it's probably mine.
That'd be you, Bill.
Yeah, I'll do it.
I'll watch from here. I'll make sure you do it right.
You're missing all this great weather, Todd.
Oh, I know. I mowed yesterday and it was hailing on me as I was mowing. I thought, this only in Auburn.
All right. Are we ready for break?
Yeah.
Okay.
We might as well take a break. Mic's off.
A little bit.
Okay.
Mic's on. All right, Ben, what you got today for us?
Morning, buddy.
Good morning. Been a while.
It has. Everybody's been on vacation.
Yeah, bunch of slackers.
I know, it's terrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's all good. Glad you guys can get away and enjoy it while you can, because you just
Yep.
never know. So,
Never know.
I got a few things today. The first thing on my agenda here is the annual operations report for local roads and streets and bridges for the DeKalb County Highway Department. This was submitted, you guys, Susan should have put a copy of this in your packet last week or week before, I'm not sure.
I sent it to them for this meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, so they would have got it Friday.
So this is annual, we do this every year. This gets uploaded through my ITAP account through NDOT, and then this will go to the state, and then Indiana LTAP. This is part of the prerequisite of our grants and things as well. So, anyway, the girls in the office did this, submitted it to Susan for review. They made a few adjustments, and everything's par. So, you guys got to review that. The numbers are all in there. I can try to answer any questions that you had. If not, we should be able to move to approve.
Okay, any questions or comments? Todd or Mike?
You don't have any.
This is for all three commissioners to sign.
Right.
And I have a copy here you can sign, or if you want to sign two for Susan, keep one, or I can
We
email.
can just sign both and then we each
Yeah.
have it. We're
We just
done.
sign both, sure. Motion?
Here you go, Mike, you want that?
I will move that we approve and sign the operational, or annual operational report for the local roads, streets, and bridges prepared by Mr. Parker.
Second.
A motion and a second, roll call?
Todd,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes. Susan will sign for Todd.
Okay,
Give her the authorization to do that when he's in on Zoom.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, I got a few other things here.
okay.
We just did that today.
Did you?
Yeah. An
all right.
authorization. And it's permissible because he is participating via Zoom.
So I will get this uploaded. It's due by June 1st. But we always try to get it ahead of time in case there's ever a hiccup. We've got time to resolve it. So
Right.
I will get that submitted and we'll be good for another year.
Good job.
Next thing I have is I put together a request for quotes for County Road 54 over here by Garrett. It's between County Road 17 and will be 327, but a little bit in on 54. There's Garrett city limits there. We converted that road, I think 5 years ago from gravel to chip seal. And there's some sugar sand in there. There was some soft areas. We've dug some out. That road is still deteriorating areas, still breaking. My concern is with County Road 56 being closed next year, they're going to run two routes, which is 60 to the south and then 54 to the north of that corridor. It's going to be split. And how that's going to directly run is the magic question. So I was planned on doing this road in '24, but since that got moved up to next year, I moved this one up as well. So I put together a spec here to do an FDR on that per NDOT guidelines with the 5% dry weight Portland cement, be tilled at 8 inches deep. That road's approximately 1.3 miles long. So I'm speculating our quotes will be in under the 150. So that's why I wanted to prepare the quotes. I've got 3 people I'd like to submit these to and then see what we get. Quotes are due by 9:30 a.m., May 8th at our office. And then they'll be opened up here, Commissioners meeting 10:30 on May 8th. I did get this ready for all three commissioners to sign. I did send this off also to Mr. Cruz for review and receive his blessing back. If you guys are okay with that, I would like to see what we get for quotes on this. So if you guys are all right, I'd ask for a motion and approve to go for quote.
We approve and sign the RFQ for County Road 54.
If you don't mind, sign two of them, I'll just leave one with
Second.
A motion and a second on the floor. Any additional comments? Roll call?
Yes.
Yes.
Bill?
Yes. Need longer arms, Mike.
I guess. Isn't it?
Oops. Good.
Did we need,
Back to
we didn't
me.
need three, did we?
I didn't hear what?
We didn't need three, did we?
We shouldn't. You got one, I got one.
Okay.
We got three.
Unless you guys want one for yourself. Okay. Then I was gonna just touch base on the forklift. I spoke to Todd last week. Sounds like Todd can speak if he'd like, but he wasn't finding much for a used forklift. It was out on the east or west coast. I did reach back out to Hall, the one that we got the quote from the Toyota, and he was supposed to done some research to see about a used one, and I have not heard nothing back. I didn't know if you guys wanted to wait or keep looking a little bit, or if you'd like to act on the previous quotes I brought up. Just didn't know where you guys was at, or if Todd had anything he wanted to input.
What you got, Todd? Anything?
I couldn't find a used one anywhere near that was enough discount to negate the warranty we would get and the serviceability of a new one. So I would encourage us to seek the new quote at the one Ben liked. The lower quote was a good one to me.
That was the Toyota? Yeah.
Yes.
Got a motion?
I'd move that we purchase the Toyota forklift that Ben presented to us.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Additional comments? All those in favor signify by, roll call.
Todd,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
and Bill.
Yes.
I don't know if there's a spot to sign on that or not. Bill, I guess I didn't look. Is there a spot to receive that?
Accepted by the DeKalb County Highway Department by name, title, date.
Go ahead.
Is that me?
Yep.
Hey,
You're the name, title, date guy.
I handed it to Mike for the motion. I didn't look to see if it was a sign one on there, so.
Okay.
Work?
Yep.
Copy?
Yeah, I'll take the copy.
Okay. That little sticky note you can throw away on the top of there.
Okay.
For the report.
Okay, what's next?
Just a couple FYIs for you. The pipe on County Road 43 was delivered successfully, finally. The crew's been putting that together last week, and they should finish that up today. So Tim was originally scheduled to start that the first of the week. He had to go out for a family, I don't know if it's emergency, but a family medical thing in Alabama with his daughter last week. So his grandson was born. I'm trying to think what he called that, where the upside of his mouth is gone and some of his lip and his nose. And so he had to go in for some of that reconstructive surgery where they take bone marrow off the baby's hip and reconstruct the mouth. And they call that something, I can't remember what he called it. But anyway, terrible news on that. I hated to hear that. But so hopefully we'll get that pipe put in this week. The guys should have that completed, putting it together today. So that would be nice. We can get 43 open back up. And then the bridge deck on County Road 60 was poured last Thursday. That was moving forward well. So, and actually, Zachary is ahead of schedule right now. So, not to jinx us, hopefully it stays that way, weather permitting and everything, but
Right,
Okay, what'd you say, bridge deck on what?
on County Road 60 for Bridge 9.
Okay.
yeah.
They poured the deck Thursday. So, still got a ways to go, but it's progressing. So, but yeah, things are moving along. Weather got cold again and a little bit wet, but we're still progressing along and keeping things moving. So, did get a little bit of sad news last week. You guys remember a year ago about this time, Dennis Ferguson brought him in here for 42 years of service to the highway department. Well, he unfortunately lost his battle with cancer at the end of last week. Viewings today and services are tomorrow. So I really hated to hear that. You know, he spent 3/4 of his life down there at the highway department.
Yeah.
Then he was a good asset and a good friend, and he's going to be missed. But I want to let you guys know about that. I did send you guys some information, I believe, on that, a few of
Right,
you.
I got that, sure. Yeah. Too
I was
bad.
having trouble with my phone last week, and I believe they got it fixed. So if anyone was trying to call me or message me, I switched from one carrier to another, and
Oh,
the port didn't port correctly.
Ouch.
So I had about a week, I don't know if I was getting calls I was supposed to get or not, but I think it's resolved, so
okay,
thank
good,
you.
good.
But I think that's all I have for you guys today. Unless anybody else has anything.
Anyone have anything for Ben?
Nope.
Wow. Todd?
Nope.
Okay, then I guess you're good to go.
Okay.
Thanks, Ben. Good luck with that pipe.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'll have pictures for you.
Yeah, that's a big pipe. In case
It is.
anybody is curious, 12-foot wide, 8-foot tall, and what, 60 foot long?
14.6 wide, 8 tall, 80 feet long.
80 feet long. That's a big
I
pipe.
have a weight on that, but I don't remember what it is to tell you, but I requested the weight because I'm trying to figure out how Tim's going to put it in for us. It's pretty heavy.
You still figured on 2 excavators? Yeah, that length.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We'll get it. I mean, Timmy's pretty confident about it. We'll be there to help.
Yeah.
I'll just be glad to get it done. We do have a local road and safety action plan meeting tomorrow here at 9 with, I requested one, Commissioner Bill's coming, and you're welcome to come. Sheriff Thomas will be here. Self, assistant, and then Jerry and Steven from NERC. And this will be annual, moving forward. Keeps us compliant with our grants, and then the new SST or SST4 grant, federal grant requirements, this will comply with that if we want to go after them funds. That's kind of your commissioner's court. Some interesting data in there, and
Okay,
If you'd like to be a part of that, you're welcome to. I'm gonna double check my time. Yep, 9 a.m. I have it for here.
I'll be here for sure.
You do.
Okay,
Thanks, everybody.
thank you, Ben.
You know where I'll be if you need me. Yep.
Have a good day.
Todd, take care.
Are you going to the showing today? Give Linda my best. I'm not going to be able to make it. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. As we wrap down here, wind this up, anybody have anything else, comments, questions, or complaints?
Here's a, for what it's worth. We have an appointment to make for the Pokebash Task Force that we approved at the last meeting. So I've been a member of the coalition since it began 2 years ago. So I'm at all the meetings anyway, so I would volunteer to do that if you want, or if you want to appoint somebody else, that's fine too.
Bing, Todd, any thoughts?
I'm fine with Mike handling that. If he wants to step up, that's fine with me.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm already there anyway, so.
Yeah, you're already there. You have the information. It would be foolish, or not foolish, but it'd be counterproductive, I think, to, I'm fine with it.
Need a motion on that to appoint
So what
Mike.
we're appointing you as what?
The DeKalb County Pokebash Task Force appointment.
Like just a member of that?
Yeah,
Okay. Is there a certain time frame?
I would assume that would be an annual.
Okay, we'll go with that for this year.
Let's go with annual.
I'd make a motion to appoint Mike to the Pokebush group. Task Force.
I'll second. Comments? Vote?
Todd,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Bill.
Yes. Anything else? Anyone? Last chance. Going to sell this thing out here in a minute, in a second.
Got nothing.
Okay,
Nada.
we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone. What are you going to do the rest of the day, Todd?
Well, we got the, did we cancel the meeting at 10:45